Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for cash tags. For that, let's bring in our next guest. It's going to be Megan Brantley, Vice President of Research at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Megan.
Thanks for having me, guys, and happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. So we're talking on holdings. Stocks had a really good run, up nearly 100% so far this year. They're taking market share from competitors, but I don't know, is it getting expensive here? I mean, what kind of data do you guys have on the stock? Because it seems like it's just been a nice ride over the last couple of years to the upside.
Yeah, this has been one of our favorite, I would say, high-quality apparel and shoe plays over the last year. This is a company that's gained tremendous steam as it expands internationally. It's moved into apparel beyond just footwear, but it's also been, I think, a breath of fresh air to, actual performance shoes, and it's definitely taking advantage of Nike's fall from grace. But as we look at this, our data, you can see a clear divide in what we call this luxury or, higher quality brands versus more traditional and perhaps lower quality brands. And on this chart, you can see where that falls. We have On Holdings still performing well, up with digital visits up 11% year over year. I will say the only caveat that we're watching, though, is we are seeing a bit of a pullback in that growth in the month of October. So whenever you look at this, you see On is still driving and growing digital traffic, but we're seeing a bit of a slowdown with October visits specifically down by about 5% year over year. So I will say, whenever we look at this, we expect a really nice report. We think that On had a great quarter, but we are a little bit nervous about guidance just because of that pullback that we're watching in the digital traffic data.
Megan, this stock has had an unbelievable run. Tom mentioned that they're taking market share from Nike. I read about, did you hear their Cyclone subscription? Where you pay $30 a month, and every 6 months they send you a new shoe. You send your shoe and they send you a new one for $30 a month.
Really?
They do that. Yeah, they send you.
But that's about what
shoes.
I had their running shoes. They're about $160, $180.
But I mean, the key there. That's innovative. That's kind of different. People might really like that if you're a runner. Right. But China is exploding. Are they going to start moving into apparel? Is the next thing. But my real question, with all the good things we're talking about here, Megan, are they really making a dent into Nike, or with a company as big as Nike, is this a flesh wound for Nike?
That's a really good question. I will say, as a caveat, I am actually an On Cyclone subscriber. So
there you go.
I know, right? Unrelated, but I do. I receive my shoes, and I think you can even get it sooner than 6 months. As long as they are well worn, they will accept them back. So high quality customer service, and we see this not necessarily just from my experience, but also in those consumer happiness ratings for On, very much elevated. I would say, more than 10 points higher than Nike. So, as you mentioned, though, Nike is still the giant here. Whenever we look at just overall market share, Nike is the overwhelming winner. But we do see On chipping away at that prowess. We see especially On making a lot of headway in running in particular. And not just On, but also Hoka, which is owned by Deckers Outdoor. So we see a couple of players that are really chipping away. And part of that is because of the performance. And I think that that's one thing that OnCloud has done a really good job leaning into. It highlights the athletes that are wearing its brand, and these athletes are winning. It had the Boston Marathon winner in Helen Obiri. So I think that it's kind of putting its money where its mouth is, and that's what a lot of consumers are saying is that, I feel good when I run in these shoes. I perform better when I run in these shoes, which is key to brand growth. And it also is a brand that's creative in other ways, even beyond its sustainability facets and its subscription model that are fully recycled, by the way. It also has a new spray-on shoes where the shoe is actually made on the consumer's foot. And so I think that there is a level of exclusivity that On has been able to establish with its brand that maybe Nike is losing a little bit of. And so I think that, if you're looking at this long term for us, and especially when we're looking at the data, On just looks more promising as an investor to bet on even more upside from here versus a Nike right now at this moment. But whenever we're heading into earnings, as I said, we are a little bit worried about guidance. We do see a bit of a pullback in October from the consumer. I think that this will be really important to watch throughout the holiday season, but this is one where we've got a really high bar heading into earnings. And while we expect a really strong report, we're not certain that ON will be able to clear that.
Yeah, with the stock up 96% so far this year. I mean, your earnings score on this one, this is a difficult one for you guys because you've been on board with it and you've seen great growth. The stock's, done what it should be doing at this point. But when you get to these lofty levels, Megan, when your data, it still makes sense. But hey, there's still valuations that are, warranted at this point, right?
Yeah, our earnings score actually stakes out to an 18, which for us is just below that bullish threshold. Long term, this is still a name that we're very bullish on, but we wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback on earnings, especially if there's any slowdown in some of that growth or momentum as it ramps up its different strategies from international expansion to its own DTC and fulfillment here in the U.S. as it expands those logistics. And so I think for us heading into this, we're cautious. We expect a really nice report. Wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback. And if we do see a bit of a pullback, we'd be buyers of that dip.
All right, great stuff, great data. And by the way, Megan, when Nordstrom has their anniversary sale, their ONs go on sale. I picked up a pair, and they're at Nordstrom Rack. Occasionally, you have to do some digging, but you get a discount on there at those places. So they're expensive shoes. All right.
They are.
Yeah, great stuff, Megan. Appreciate it. Have a good day.